So Tom Brady also retires.
Yes.
And obviously for you and me, we're essentially the same age as the guy. And much of the joy of our lives as sports fans was rooted in things that this guy was doing on the field. And, I have said repeatedly that I thought Tom Brady would finally walk away when he started to regress a little bit. And he's 45 years of age. That has always been a number that he has trotted out there. But I think he finally saw that his skills were starting to recede a little bit. Yeah. And even though he's still top 5 in terms of accuracy in my mind and, still could take a team and win a Super Bowl next year, I think he finally felt like there was a little bit of a chink in the armor and good time to walk away. So
I think that's when you do it, right? And people were criticizing him, anytime he was, in his 40s, like, what is he doing? This is crazy. And, you'd always hear the talk. Even if he was winning, people would love to talk about that number. This year was not the best of years for him. And this is when you do it because people are going to still remember Tom Brady as that dude. When the Patriots were down, and it almost didn't matter what that number was, how much they were down in. And we always thought there was hope if Tom Brady had the ball. And oftentimes, more often than not, he would find a way to win. That kind of championship mentality, that drive, the hard work that he put in the offseason, how detailed he was with his diet up until, this year and how good he kept himself in shape and how much he studied and all that stuff, the level of performance. I don't care what sport you're talking about. He will be one of the greatest athletes of all time. And what makes the story even better is he was forgotten about. He was this guy who came into the league as a 6th-round draft choice. Drew Bledsoe, who was the guy that the Patriots built their team around, happened to get injured. And Tom Brady went in there and never gave Drew Bledsoe a chance to get back in there, essentially, which is crazy because Drew was the man, still the man, right? And Tom Brady came out of nowhere to be the greatest quarterback of all time. So I don't know. It's just many movies can be made about the legend of Tom Brady.
And hopefully in that movie, yes, thank you, Tommy. And maybe you and I can call an NFL football game at some point in the not too distant future, although he's going to be on that A team forever. I'm sort of like a D team guy. He is also Sean Shelby's first cousin. So, when Sean Shelby goes into the UFC Hall of Fame, perhaps we'll see Tommy there. But you can be sure Tom Brady's going to be at one of these UFC live events coming up. And really sort of to piggyback on your point, and then we are going to get to Ray Longo, who I'm sure is getting a little bit impatient there in the waiting room. But perhaps of all the great numbers for Tom Brady, the 7 Super Bowls, the one that stands out the most, to piggyback your point, 40 fourth quarter or overtime comeback wins, right?
Yeah.
Next closest, Drew Brees with 27, 40 times trailing in the fourth quarter.
God.
Those are W's for Tom Brady. All right, big weekend coming up for UFC 284, a couple of title fights. It's one epic night. You know what I'm talking about. UFC 284, Makhachev versus Volkanovski this weekend. Islam vying to keep his title, and the Volk man hoping to make history as the first Aussie to simultaneously hold a belt in 2 divisions. And we invite you to get in on the MMA action with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So one way or another, history is going to be made. I'm leaving for Perth on Monday. Can't wait to get there, and can't wait to see candidly how Volk matches up with the otherworldly Islam Makhachev. You also got Yair Rodriguez taking on Josh Emmett for the interim featherweight title. And are you back in Perth's own Jack Della Maddalena, 3-1 favorite now over the UFC-tested Randy Brown? A lot of ways to get after it. Dozen or so matchups at UFC 284. And if the excitement in the octagon is not enough, football fans, don't forget, you can join the big game action that is happening this coming Sunday at DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Not now, but right now, use code AFPOD. That is code AFPOD, one word. New customers bet $5 on UFC 284 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly this Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook with code AFPOD. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, star of the show is waiting.